Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about compliance and airways resistance with the HQ challenge number 51. All right, a patient on VCAC has a PIP, a peak inspiratory pressure of 45 centimeters of water pressure, and a PIP Plat or a plateau pressure of 15 centimeters of water pressure. Which of the following could be a contributing factor? Okay, so let's talk about the relationship between these pressures. So the peak inspiratory pressure, watch my hands here, is generated when the tidal volume is pushed down the circuitry into the airway and expand the alveoli. All right, so the peak pressure takes into account the air moving through the airways and moving into the alveoli. Peak pressure by itself really doesn't tell us where a problem is at. It just tells us if it's a high or a low pressure, but it doesn't differentiate between is it an airway problem or is it an alveolar problem. Where we begin to be able to differentiate where those things are is with the plateau pressure. All right, so PIP is the pressure as the air is moving down the airway and expanding the alveoli. But after the alveoli are expanded, we can make the ventilator hold the breath just briefly, and that pressure that we get is the plateau pressure. All right, now here's what you have to remember. Peak inspiratory pressure must always be higher than plateau. If it's not, you have done something wrong, okay? So PIP's gotta be higher than Plat. Plat tells us about alveolar compliance. It tells us about problems in the alveoli. So if the plateau pressure rises, what it's gonna do is it's going to push the peak inspiratory pressure up by the same amount. Okay, so if we had an alveolar problem, these two pressures would be rising together. All right, when we have an airway problem, there is nothing wrong in the alveoli. That pressure stays static, it stays the same. What happens though is peak inspiratory pressure will rise, and the difference between the PIP and the Plat becomes greater. Do you see how widespread my hands are? All right, if you have that concept, you can answer this question because the PIP is 45 and the Plat is 15. There's a wide difference between the two, so the problem here is in the airway. So now, coming here, which of these four can be a contributing factor? Well, the only one of these that is an airway problem is a bronchospasm, because atelectasis is in the alveoli, consolidation like a pneumonia is in the alveoli, pulmonary edema is a type of consolidation that is in the alveoli, so the only thing it can be is a bronchospasm. So hope this has helped. See you soon.